Now tonight's One Show guest is a man who's declaring a war on us wasting food in a brand new series tonight on BBC One at 9.
Well, hello everybody and welcome to The One Show with Alex Jones.
And Matt Baker. Now, tonight's guest is a chef and campaigner who's previously fought for fish and crusaded for chickens. But on BBC One later, he'll be talking rubbish.
Well, he'll be talking waste, to be precise. So, to welcome him, what we've done is we've had a sculpture made of him entirely from waste material. Let's put the lights on, and of course, it's Hugh Fearnley-Whittingstall. Come on over, Hugh. What do you reckon? You like that? Isn't that lovely? Nice to see you.
Fantastic.
You're good.
How are you?
There we are. Have a seat.
Wow.
There we are.
My twin. Unbelievable.
Oh, we have to say thank you to artist Michelle Reader, who made that especially for this evening. It's great, doesn't it?
He looks angry.
Well,
he's issuing a war.
Looks like he's
on
ready
waste.
for a fight.
Yeah,
a war
exactly.
on waste. Now, this is the thing because it encompasses food. It encompasses all sorts. But
yes,
what springs to mind, obviously, is the weekend, Halloween. I mean, there must have been a lot of waste pumpkin going around.
We throw away thousands of tons of pumpkins, which is insane. And it's a very obvious form of waste.
Yeah.
But actually, we're also throwing away hundreds of thousands of tons of vegetables, of good vegetables every year. And that's a hidden waste, and that's in the supermarket supply chain.
We've got some incredible shots of some parsnips that we'll be showing a little bit later on, so you don't want to miss that, and we'll talk all about your war on waste very shortly.
Great.
But first, gardeners of Britain. Now, imagine all your time, money and hard work being uprooted for the sake of a new housing development.
Yeah, well, Nick has been to meet the Huddersfield homeowners involved in a turf war with their local council.
This is clearly a very special place. How long have you been working on it?
Oh, about 20 years.
It's like an oasis, isn't it?
It is, and it's paradise for me.
When it comes to planning rows, most NIMBYs are unhappy about a housing development planned for just up the road.
But if what you're complaining about really is potentially right in your backyard, it's different.
Just behind these houses in Huddersfield lies a tasty piece of land, the sort of place the government had in mind when it told councils to identify areas for housing development. Trouble is, a big slice of it is currently gardens belonging to these houses, or rather, leased to them by the council.
The council want to sell the land off and put 39, 40 houses on the land.
How much does this garden mean to you?
It means everything. It means peace, it means security. Some people have lived here for 40 years.
It's a tale of woe repeated up and down the street.
I'll be really disappointed if the council take our garden. We love to play in it, the kids love to play in it, the rabbits love to play in it. It'll be such a terrible shame.
Hi. This is where the houses would be.
Some have invested thousands converting outbuildings.
This is all just being carpeted. These are breeding fish tanks. We've got fish, we've got tadpoles, we've got the chickens. For all that to be taken away, it's just be devastating.
Andrew Cooper is the local Green Party councillor.
Andrew, there's a desperate need for housing in Huddersfield, all over the country. Sites like this which aren't owned by the residents, why can't they be used?
Well, there's plenty of alternatives. There's brownfield sites. There's one not very far from here, an old mill site, which has been granted planning permission, but has been left undeveloped since 2009.
But brownfield sites are often contaminated, making them expensive to develop.
Now, there's no question the council has the right to end the leases, but the truth is they've got a fight on their hands, and they know it. 6 years ago, the residents fought off a similar attempted land grab.
And with Kirklees Council needing to find space for 20,000 new homes, the land's back in the planning mix, though council leader David Sheard says nothing's yet been decided.
I think people are concerned. This stage we're at now at the moment is we are putting the ideas out to consultation, and they have got a right to object, and the council will make a decision next summer.
I believe that there would be enormous psychological problems taking away things that people have had for 40 years in some cases.
It's really important that all the residents put in individual letters, and from the children, to tell their own story of why they think that we shouldn't be looking to zone this land for housing. Remember, that's all we're talking about at the moment, is zoning the land.
The public consultation starts next week.
Mother Nature at its best.
It is, you're right.
They are like
be brave.
peas.
Be brave.
Oh, yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah, tasty.
It's all I've ever done ever since I was a kid, pigeons. They told us 9 years ago that we could go ahead with buildings and everything, and we paid for planning permission, got all those buildings up and everything, and then 9 years down the road they just tell you, you've got to get rid.
Near the bottom of the row, a horse sanctuary.
The kids from these houses and they feed them. The kids would be lost without them.
Councils all over the country are under pressure to earmark land. So if you lease a garden from the council, you might want to check the small print.
Domino, oi, he'd be lost without this land. I mean, where would he go?
Once this is gone, like, that's their home gone, because they just return here. They won't go anywhere else, they'll just come here all the time.
And checking that small print is the key, because apparently all the residents are on different lease lengths and what have you, but the council can end it at any time they want. But there's no doubt about it. I mean, they put a huge amount of effort in there, Hugh.
Absolutely. Those places are extensions of their home, their living space, and what you can certainly say is you wouldn't want that to happen to you or anyone you care about, would you?
No.
Well, your latest campaign starts, A War on Waste, tonight, BBC One, 9 o'clock. So who's the enemy this time, then?
Well, I think the enemy is waste itself, and it's something that we see in so many forms, but perhaps the most pernicious kind of waste of all is food waste. This is stuff that farmers grow and we nurture to feed us, to make us healthy and strong. And if we're chucking loads of it away, that's got to be wrong.
And there's waste at all different stages of the food process, isn't there? We've got some incredible shots of these parsnips. I mean, just mountains of them. Where is this?
This is in Norfolk.
Right.
This is a Norfolk family farm, the Hammonds, and they've been growing parsnips for Morrison's for 30 years, 3 generations.
Right, and so those trolley loads, they're not going to the supermarket?
No, that's the waste. That's 1 week's waste. We got 28 trolleys, and that was 10% of 1 week, and the huge pile behind, that's the rest. 20,000 tonnes of parsnips wasted in the course of a week.
And is that just because, it's ugly veg, it's not quite the right length, it doesn't work for the shelf?
Ugly is a strong word. Actually, it's not the kind of three-legged wonky parsnips here, it's the almost perfect ones, and this is the crazy thing. You or I could not tell that there was anything wrong with it. It might be 5 millimetres too thick at the fat end.
Right.
And these farmers asked Morrison's to relax the strict cosmetic standards so they could sell more of their produce. The irony being they'd had a very good harvest and the parsnips were a bit bigger than usual, but they wouldn't do it.
But as long as they taste like parsnips, do we mind? No.
Well, this is a big question. We have to let the supermarkets know that we don't mind, because they kind of put the blame back on us. They say it's our fault for not buying this stuff. So we've set up a website, wastenotuk.com, where we can tell the supermarkets that we will accept this food, that we'll be thriftier with our own waste, and we really want them to do something about theirs.
So a lot of the big supermarkets then have pledged that all their unsold food will go to help community projects, and Morrison's over the weekend is the latest ones. So what do you think of their proposals?
Well,
it's quite a coincidence, isn't it?
It seems like a coincidence that 48 hours before a film in which we question quite strongly their policy on waste, they decide to give all their surplus food to needy people. But let's give them credit. It's a great thing that they're doing there. I'm very interested in this word all. All is a small word, but also a very big word. Are they really Are they going to go back to the farm and make sure that none of this produce is wasted? Are they just talking about the stuff that's getting
It's on
towards
their shelves,
the best
yeah.
before date in the supermarket? If they really mean all, if they're going to go back in the supply chain, back to the depots, back to the farms, rescue all that food and redistribute it, that would be fantastic.
Well, talking about potential waste and use by dates and what have you, you go around, don't you? You start digging around in people's bins.
Yes.
In Prestwich, let's just have a look at you.
The lovely people of Prestwich.
In bin action, here
Love
we
you
are.
so much. What is it?
Pet food.
That's got another 2 weeks to go. 2 weeks to go. It's not.
But it's been opened
How long has it been opened?
about 3 days.
Do you know what that smells like to me? Good bacon. Good bacon.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot, Hugh, that we can do at home. I mean, surely we are getting better. We've got bins of all sorts of different colours.
We are getting better with food waste. We're reducing, in the last 10 years, we've cut our food waste at home by about 20%. But there's a long way to go, because half of that waste we're talking about, that is us, that's at home. So we can really step up. And if we're going to ask the supermarkets to change, I think we have to be ready to make our own efforts. So being nifty with your leftovers in the kitchen, being a little bit relaxed about those best before dates. You know, it's only a guide, it's not going to kill you.
How relaxed? Yeah,
Well,
that's the
very,
question.
very relaxed. You've got to be able to trust your own judgment. Those dates are very conservative. They're based on the fact that your shopping might spend several hours in the back of the car and the fridge might not work very well. So, you know, you're the judge as to whether you can eat that stuff, not a date on a packet.
Smell it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm the judge when it comes to milk. I'm for it. Smell that? Is that all right? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
And if it's gone off, you can make cheese.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Oh, I love a bit of cottage cheese over cornflakes. Anyway, now I know that you have a passion for marine life. Of course, we were out in California together.
What a great time.
For Big Blue Live. Well, Miranda has been to tackle a deep-sea death trap off the Cornish coast.
Off our coasts, there's danger lurking beneath the waves. Lost or abandoned fishing equipment can cause massive damage to wildlife and marine habitats.
But it's also a danger to fishermen and their vessels, and also to any divers who come across it, like these guys who recently discovered a huge net right here on the Manacles Reef in Cornwall.
The rocky pinnacles of the reef are a marine conservation zone, home to some of our most beautiful aquatic species. A lost net could cause huge damage here, so local dive operator Mark Milburn is leading an operation to remove it.
We're over the reef at the moment. Where exactly is the net?
The net's just over by the boy over there. It's a trawl net, so the mouth of the net is probably maybe 10, even 15 metres wide, and then the length of the whole trawl is probably at least 20 metres long.
Wow, so it is vast.
It is a big net, yes. It's already smashed off the pink sea fans, the hard corals, which are a rare species, all the anemones and any life that was underneath them, because it just stretched across it.
This will be a complex operation requiring experienced divers. The water is murky and tidal currents are strong, so there's only a short time window between the tides. And the base of the net is deep, so dives must be short because of the risk of decompression sickness.
Just swimming towards the net at the moment. And here it is, and it's absolutely vast. It's standing like a tower in front of me. And it's a huge piece of net, it's absolutely massive, look at that. You can see these buoys that would have kept it afloat. And it's clear that this would be here for a very long time if the divers didn't take it away. It's not biodegradable. It's made of strong material, it's some sort of plastic. It's going to be here for a long time.
A lost net like this can become a death trap for marine life. Once caught, animals will drown, starve, or be eaten by other wildlife. Mark gets to work. He attaches inflatable bags to make sure the net will rise straight up once it's freed, rather than drifting away. Now he and his buddy are ready to start to cut. The net is trapped around 30 metres below the surface. They won't have much time to identify which bits of the net to cut in the dark and murky water.
So that is my cue to get out of the water now. Mark's just about to cut the net, and we have no idea how quickly it's going to rise to the surface, so I just need to get out of here.
28 metres down, the net is grinding against the fragile reef. Mark has about 20 minutes to cut the net free. If he doesn't complete the task and only weakens the net, then it may break free and drift off to wreak havoc elsewhere. But as he perseveres, the net starts to shift. Mark hits a problem. One of the ropes holding the net is made from wire and it's beginning to blunt his knife. He has to quickly cut around the wire to free the rest of the net. A few final swipes and at last the net is released.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. All the boys are coming to the surface. Look at that. So that is the net breaking the surface of the water. A successful mission.
Now all we have to do is tow the net back to shore, careful to avoid it snagging on any of the submerged rocks. On a nearby beach, the local inshore fisheries and conservation authority are ready and waiting to take it away.
It's incredible, isn't it, what goes on in our waters that people would never, ever know about. Well, fishermen are taking an active part in clearing up the sea, and a project that involves them is having real success. Sarah is live for us now in Peterhead to tell us a little bit more. Good evening, Sarah.
Good evening from chilly Peterhead in the northeast of Scotland. It's Europe's premier fishing port. All the boats are out of harbour at the moment. They're all busy, but an astounding 2,000 tonnes of fish are landed here each week. But now fishermen are being encouraged to land a different sort of catch. It's called fishing for litter. And here to tell me a bit more is Bertie Armstrong, Chief Executive of the Scottish Fishermen's Federation, and James Stevens, skipper. Bertie, first of all, how does the scheme work?
Well, it used to be that fishermen bringing back the debris that shouldn't be on the seabed would have to pay for its disposal. Now, that doesn't work. Under the new scheme, they can fill bags, which are provided, bring it back here, and it's disposed of for nothing, so everybody wins.
James, how long have you been a skipper for?
35 years.
35 years. So what problems do litter cause?
Well, there can be a hazard to the safety of the ship, but also it can tangle in the trawls and damage the trawls. It then means we have to untangle them, we lose time when you have to repair them, so it can be a problem for us.
You take these bags to sea, and how satisfying is it to fill a bag like this and land it on shore again?
Satisfying because we are removing the debris from the sea, cleaning up the environment. Healthy seas mean healthy stocks.
So some of the odd things you've picked up?
Washing machine, tumble dryer.
Very unusual. Thank you very much, gentlemen. So there you go. Obviously, a huge amount of litter is picked up in our seas. And before me is a vast collection of rubbish. And to talk me through it is Graham Humphreys from Chemo UK, which runs Fishing for Litter. Graham, you've got an empire of rubbish. Talk me through what you've got.
Hi, Sarah. Welcome to just part of this weekend's catch. You can see we've got metal for like these depth charge casing, plastic of all sorts, from hard hats, nets, creels, right down to a plastic bottle from somebody's bathroom.
How damaging is this stuff?
This stuff is hugely damaging, not only to the fishing industry, but to wildlife in general. Sea mammals can get caught up in this netting and suffer from horrific injuries and die. And that plastic bottle over the years will break down into smaller and smaller pieces and eventually get eaten by seabirds. 96% of northern fulmars have plastic in their stomach, and the average fulmar has this much plastic. Now, if that was in your stomach, Sarah, it would weigh about half a pound and be about this size. You can imagine how ill you would feel.
Not very nice, Graham. Thank you very much. Well, it seems to be that the message from Fishing for Litter is that no matter how big a boat you've got, every piece of litter taken from the sea helps. Back to the studio.
Oh, thank you, Sarah, and thanks as well to all in Peterhead.
Yes, and we are actually going to be harborside on Friday night when Team Rickshaw arrive at their destination after their first day in the saddle. We are going to be in Padstow if you're interested, if you'd like to come and join us.
They'll have a shock after the first day, won't they? Now, this year we've got 2 Georges in Team Rickshaw, and we're about to hear why the music-loving George G is riding with Matt and the team. But before we do, here's a little message from another TV food lover.
The very best of luck to Team Rickshaw. I know how hard everyone's been training for this year's challenge, so here's to raising a ton of money for children in need.
My name is George. I'm 16 years old. This sign is me, and I'm a musician. This is my musical layer. So that's a poster of mine. I went to see Los Demos, and I saw Billy Elliot. These are all my DVDs. One of my favourites, this is Annie. I like conducting musicals.
We'd got married and we knew that we wanted at least one child. I went to the doctors and I remember this very young nurse, and she said, I have your results and your baby is trisomy 21, which is the medical term for Down syndrome.
We were in a state of shock, weren't we?
Would people accept our baby? That was just overwhelming and terrifying.
We were told that George might not walk, might not talk. That creates a lot of anxiety for you as parents.
Some people had said to me, oh, it's going to be so disappointing when you first hold him. I looked at him, I knew he was my boy, I loved him, he was perfect.
Bye, Georgie.
He feels things deeply, so if he's happy, he's really, really, really happy. And if he's sad, he's really desolate.
It's a struggle for him to keep up. But if people appreciate that his processing is a little bit slower, then he's very keen to be included.
It's quite hard for me having Down syndrome. Like, when everyone talks too fast, I can't keep up. And whenever they laugh or talk too loud, I don't really like it. One for the day.
Good boy.
I love music. It brings me joy. Wherever I go, music is my thing.
He was interested in the violin from about the age of 7 or 8.
The violin's very difficult.
Very difficult. He was, no, violin, I mean, that's George.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing that, and it did sound absolutely awful for about 5 years, if I'm honest.
I've just done my grade 2 on the violin with a distinction.
George went to Precorder on a school trip. He fell in love with the place.
Come from a land far, far away.
Precorder is a music school. One of the things we're really trying to go for is how the skills on stage translate to everyday life skills and social skills. And it's been really magical to see George over the last couple of years really develop.
Whenever George goes away to Precorder, you see him come back more independent.
This year, I'm cycling the Rickshaw Challenge.
He's going to the gym every day.
I feel that it's going to be hard to start with.
We cycle around Richmond Park and we've done it at night with all the deer going boo.
It might be hard because of the rain and me cycling at night.
He's actually eating salad now. Salad! George, thank you for this.
I think George is going to be a quiet leader. He's an incredibly funny guy, so I think he's going to be making the team laugh a lot.
I don't like waking up really early in the morning. No way.
I'm very proud of him.
He realises that through the money he raises, loads of other kids will benefit from the kind of opportunities that he's had.
Everyone who knows me and everyone who doesn't know me, please give your money to children in need and start donating now.
Well said, well said.
He's such a gem.
I feel really bad now. I'm sorry to break this news to you, George, but we have got a 5 o'clock start on Friday morning from Land's End, all right? Anyway, just don't think about it. You'll get into it, you'll get into it. And now, Hugh, would you do us an enormous favour and just tell viewers, or remind viewers, how they can get in?
With pleasure. To donate £5 to children in need, text the word TEAM to 70705. Or to donate £10, text TEAM to 70710.
Thanks, Hugh. Text will cost your donation plus your standard network message charge, and all of your donation will go to children in need. You must be 16 or over, and please ask for the bill payer's permission.
For more information and for full terms and conditions, just go to bbc.co.uk/Pudsey, where you can also donate online if you want to give a different amount. And the lines are open now, so please start texting if you can.
And your donations are already coming in, aren't they? So we want to thank all the people who are donating by putting your faces up in a gallery of givers.
Yes, the gallery of givers.
It's a new thing.
All you have to do is upload a selfie once you've donated, and then you can find more details up on our website. We'll have a lovely collage of all you generous people.
Now, a question that every adult needs to ask themselves. At what point is it time to grow up and put away childhood obsessions? I don't know why I'm looking at you.
Yeah, thanks. Well, if you were a member of the Nottingham hip-hop scene in 1983, the answer is never. These Nottingham dads have been following their dancing dreams ever since they were teenagers.
They have. But before they show us their moves, here's what happened when Ewan went to meet them.
Sexy and I know it.
Do you know what? Without a doubt, my proudest moment on Strictly. Little did I know, though, I was breakdancing my way out of the competition. Well, today, the sequins may be gone, but the trainers are on, because I've come to Nottingham to meet a bunch of guys who are the ultimate dad dancers.
And the venue for this is the Rock City nightclub, a mecca for UK breakdancing in the 1980s. Today, it's home once again for some ageing fans of the scene, celebrated in a film about the city's many breaking crews due out next year called NG83, the brainchild of Claude Knight.
It was something that I felt really passionate about. The hip-hop scene and the breakdancing scene, it sort of broke down racial barriers, especially at that time. There's a lot of overt racism was going around. So when this new culture came, you got into a crew, and that's what it was all about.
So how has life changed then? What have you all gone on to do?
I'm a postman, yeah.
When you're delivering post in the morning, do you do a bit of breakdancing?
If a tune comes on the radio when I'm in the office, I might do a little bit of a wave, you know what I mean?
I work in a school. I'm a mentor in a school. We do shows, workshops, weddings, eat, sleep, drink, dance.
I'm a civil servant now. I was a kid on the north side of Nottingham and I had a stereo, a very cheap one. You switch it on, suddenly your legs take on a different way of walking.
Shall I get a quick demo? Oh, go on.
I had a stroke in 2009. I can't dance no more. And I missed dancing. In 86, I went to Beirut to teach breakdancing for 6 weeks, yeah. I met Terry Waite out there, and I met Muhammad Ali. I mean, I'm going to get a lot of round of applause today when they see me come on that ring.
Having met the boys, I now feel part of their crew. So I donned my tracksuit and I joined the hundreds who have turned up today. Highlight of the afternoon is the over 40s breaking competition, which me and you would call a dance-off. But not before I get pressured into showing my own moves. Being here really brings home what the boys have told me about this whole scene, being a way of life for them and their families.
My kids, that's all all they ever known is the dad dancing. They danced as well. My grandson dances. He's a little b-boy.
And you've passed those skills down, have you taught your children?
Definitely all from me.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it true that your children now wear your clothes from the 80s?
Well, no, once they get up to my size, they will be passing them on and clearing out my wardrobe so I can have some more space. It's come back round again, the fashion has. Everyone's wearing them again in the clubs and that lot. So I can just bring all my old stuff back out.
My kids always embarrassed of me anyway. You know, I'm 48 now. I wear Crocs at home and they go, that's not hip-hop. They say, Crocs is not hip-hop, Dad.
And to top the day off, our very own Jay wins the competition.
So if you could have one overriding memory of your days in the b-boy crew, what would that be?
Friendship. That's still lasted today. You know, having all these friends through hip-hop, and we're still here today, so that's the lasting memory for me is friendship.
And we'll see their moves very, very shortly. But in the meantime, thanks, Hugh. You can see War on Waste tonight at 9 o'clock here on BBC One and just after 11 in Scotland. Also, the book, Love Your Leftovers, is out now as well.
Tomorrow, the hypnotic Darren Brown will be here. But before that, I know that Hugh is very excited because they're all the same age. We're going to leave you with some dance floor magic from NG83. So, take it away, lads.
Oh, maybe we should sit down. OK, let's introduce them.
So this is Claude, this is Scooby, Dad at 2:48, warming the floor up. Here comes the postman, D2, 45 years old, and Dad at 2, making way for Nasty Nice. Again, 48 years old. He's single, so if you're interested, find him somewhere. This is crazy. He too is 47, still going strong. Let's get Millsy out. Here's Millsy, 2 children, 47 years old. Oh, good stuff. Look at this, is absolutely outstanding stuff. And then Then to wrap things up, we've got Jay Solo, the granddad of the team. Here he is, granddad of two. Bye-bye, everyone.
Inside Out investigates the stories that matter to us. Could solar farms soon be a thing of the past?
There's going to be a period of time where it's really difficult to build these projects.
And how one of the capital's most notorious buildings has become a pop-up theatre. That's Inside Out London, next on BBC One.
Mr. Lover, lover, I'm Mr. Lover, lover, girl. Mr. Lover, lover,
In half an hour, EastEnders. But first, tonight's edition of Inside Out London.
Hello there, I'm Matthew Wright. You're watching Inside Out London. Here's what's coming up on tonight's show. Designed in London, how the capital is leading the way in luxury air travel.
This is the living room. Through here you have your own shower and bathroom, and of course, your own double bedroom.